You know, the wrestling landscape is very fickle. It's very unpredictable. When I watch NXT, I appreciate the storytelling and what I always mention on my Reviews Wednesday, the attention to detail. The one thing I appreciate most about people who are running a wrestling promotion is how you handle yourself when circumstances present themselves and just bring a negative aspect to a potential show. When Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were thrown together in a triple threat match for the NXT Championship, we were all excited. We were all fantasy booking. We were all contemplating about how this could potentially end in Brooklyn on Saturday night. And then the news came out about Aleister Black being hurt. The one thing that I appreciate most out of everything is how one creative team can take a negative and turn it into a positive. That is a very difficult thing to do without stressing out. Because here you have three men who are telling this story, and one of them unfortunately got hurt and cannot compete, and his role now is not going to be of any importance on Saturday night. WWE has rewritten this entire story. WWE has taken Aleister Black out and now potentially replaced him with another supporting character. You don't know how I appreciate that. You don't know how I think this ended up being one of the most negative things all year and has turned into one of WWE's most intriguing storylines in 2018. I absolutely love that. Let's start from the beginning, man. You guys know how I felt about Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and this entire storyline that dated back to last year, Takeover Chicago. I've been raving about Johnny Gargano, and I've been raving about the body of work that this guy has done all year. The guy has main evented every single Takeover in 2018, and there's nobody else that I would put in that position. He wrestled in Philadelphia against Andrade Cien Almas in what was not only the best match of 2018 in WWE. I'm not going to say it was the best match in wrestling all year because then I'd just be going out there and speaking of, complete bias. I'm not going to discredit anybody else in any of the promotion. It's a very subjective thing. Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas had the best match of WWE in 2018. And Johnny Gargano main evented every show with Almas and then the rest, Chicago, New Orleans, and now Brooklyn with Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa, when we look back at Ciampa and where he's come from, we weren't thinking NXT champion. You see, the reason why I love Tommaso Ciampa so much is because in every aspect of his character, he never breaks that character, no matter where he is. I guarantee you, if you meet him in person, he's going to be playing that character. I guarantee you, if you meet him crossing the street or if you meet him in a Starbucks, he's going to be in character. He's in character on social media as he's following nobody. He has absolutely no merchandise for you to buy. He doesn't even at anybody on Twitter. He is what a true villain should be. You see, when I look at wrestling characters, or I look at characters in general, I always flock to the villain more so than I do the superhero. When you have a great villain, the greater the superhero. It is not the other way around. It is not the other way around. Why was Daniel Bryan so great in his role? Because Triple H was that much better. Simple as that. Simple as that. That's the only analogy I'm going to use because that's the only other one in recent memory that has been as close to what we're seeing with Ciampa and Gargano. If Roman Reigns, and I don't want to make this about Roman Reigns, but I want to use him as an example. Roman Reigns is being portrayed and miscast on Monday Night Raw. If Roman Reigns was a heel, instead of coming out here and conducting interviews and going on social media and doing these interviews and being interviewed by Sports Illustrated or Sun Sport or Give Me Sport, whomever. If Roman Reigns actually came out and said, I'm a heel, right? Aren't I heel already, is what we have been hearing with Roman Reigns. But if he actually came out and said, yeah, I'm a fucking heel, what the reaction that I get is warranted. You know? I don't like the fans. If he portrayed himself like a Tommaso Ciampa, then things would be different. But Roman Reigns comes out here and says, aren't I heel already? No, you're not. You're not heel already. Because if you were heel, you would be following the basic steps that Tommaso Ciampa has pretty much given you. You're not a heel. WWE is portraying you to be a superhero. You're standing up for what's right. You're defending the honor of the men and women in the locker room. You want to put Brock Lesnar in his place because he's doing wrong, yet the reaction that you're getting is not really what you're emanating. The reaction that you're getting is of a villain. But you're trying to portray yourself as this superhero for standing up for everybody in the locker room. That's not a heel. That's not a villain. If Roman Reigns was an actual heel, being portrayed as a heel, he would make Monday Night Raw better, and he would make the entire program. He would make the entire program with everybody that he works with better. He would make everything and everyone around him that much better. They would feed off Roman Reigns. They would benefit from the magnitude of the heat that he's getting because the heat would be genuine, because the character that he's portraying would be genuine. Instead of this fucking opposite. We're living in Bizarro world. That's why Tommaso Ciampa has been so fucking great. The greater the villain, the greater the superhero. It's worked with Gargano, and it worked with Aleister Black. And you can't discredit what Tommaso Ciampa has done. He's been absolutely brilliant in everything that he's done. Body language, facial expressions, social media, how he's conducted himself. Everything has been spot on brilliant. And I mentioned he's made Alistair Black better. In the short moments in which we've seen Ciampa and Alistair Black, Ciampa is so good at what he does. He made Alistair Black feel important again after Alistair Black didn't really have a good 2018. Yeah, he won the NXT Championship, but what has he done with the NXT Championship? Nothing. The most important thing that he did in 2018 was defend the championship against Ciampa and lose the championship to Ciampa. That was the highlight of his career. That was the highlight of his 2018. The highlight of 2018 for Aleister Black wasn't winning the World Championship. And it may be odd for me to say that. It may be odd for you to hear that. But the best thing in 2018 for Aleister Black was that he lost the championship. Why? Because the guy that he lost it to is doing the best work in the entire company. He's that good of a villain. The better the villain, the better the superhero. So Tommaso Ciampa won the NXT Championship. Here we have three guys. Aleister Black was gifted this role, this supporting role, after going one-on-one with Lars Sullivan, which was a decent match. They didn't disappoint me. I enjoyed the match. A botch here, a botch there, but that's to be expected with someone like Lars Sullivan. But it wasn't a bad match by any stretch of the imagination. Lars Sullivan was given that spot as a trial and error. WWE tried to give you the best possible answer as to why a match between Ciampa and Gargano was main eventing these shows without the NXT Championship. Aleister Black played second fiddle to Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano all year. Now, the old school head in me wouldn't put my main championship on before a match with no championship on the line. The NXT Championship should always be positioned, but that's how good Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano have been. Aleister Black was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He won the championship at the wrong time. So here we are. He gets through Lars Sullivan, and he gets this match with Tommaso Ciampa, and this is the best thing in his entire NXT run. Tommaso Ciampa made him into a main event guy again. When Ciampa says, I am the main event, I made you into a main event guy, you cannot go against what he said. Look at where Aleister Black was before all this, and look at where he is now with Tommaso Ciampa in the fold. And then all of a sudden, we get news that Aleister Black is injured. Aleister Black cannot make TakeOver Brooklyn. Their biggest show of the year. This is their WrestleMania, according to Triple H. Now what happens WrestleMania weekend? What happens at TakeOver Brooklyn is their WrestleMania. This is the restart. After Saturday night, we are hitting the reset button on NXT, and we're going into a new year. Aleister Black was unfortunately hurt, and he's going to be out 4 months. People were hoping that he would make TakeOver, but it wasn't to be. This is where I said I appreciate more than anything when something unfortunate happens like this, and a negative happens, that you turn that negative into a positive. I was the one worried most about what would happen here with Aleister Black being out. Aleister Black is gifted this position, and now he's not going to be there to reap the benefits. Now we're back to a Gargano Ciampa match. This is going to be the third time that these guys have went one-on-one this year. I was worried that, wow, they just gave Ciampa the championship. How are they going to have him walk out of Brooklyn with the championship still around his waist? I thought this, with the injury to Aleister Black, I thought this was going to signal the end of Ciampa's run and that he would be nothing more than a transitional champion. And with the body of work that he's done, he certainly doesn't deserve the transitional champion title. I was worried about it. I was worried about fan backlash. I was worried about people thinking, well, it's rinse and repeat. It's the same old shit. JD the hypocrite as always. He loves what Ciampa and Gargano are doing, main eventing every show. But then here he is complaining about Roman Reigns main eventing every show against the likes of Lashley and Joe and Lesnar and blah, 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 blah. Right on down the line. But it isn't the same. It isn't the same. What we see in NXT is good. What we see on Monday Night Raw is garbage. But I was worried about how everything would just somehow come to an end. I was worried that this is the end of it. Gargano Ciampa over. Meanwhile, there's so much more story to tell here. Negative into a positive. Yes, we're getting a one-on-one match. WWE even added the stipulation of a last man standing match. That in itself gives you the possibility of unpredictability happening on Saturday night. But not only that, WWE's turned an injury to Aleister Black into a whodunit storyline. Who did it? Where is the culprit? Why did they do it? All these questions they've turned into a mega mystery storyline. And if you can't appreciate that, then you really aren't a fan of professional wrestling. This is one of the simplest storylines that's been told time and time and time again. And WWE went into their old bag of tricks, their old school bag of tricks, and they're giving us an Alistair Black, who attacked Aleister Black storyline with everybody in the scenario. Everybody was filmed, from the biggest heels in NXT to the biggest baby faces in NXT, and people are even coming out saying that it could be somebody that's not even on the active roster right now. It may be someone on the main roster. This is a great way to continue this storyline with the unfortunate injury of Aleister Black. Who did it? Who did it? Now, WWE, the last time they did a whodunit storyline, Hideo Itami was being attacked in the parking lot of NXT, and Kevin Owens conveniently walked by, uttering the words, well, that sucks. And we never found out who attacked Hideo Itami. But I think we're going to find out who attacked Aleister Black here. Now, when we watch this footage back, we watch the footage of literally everybody. We've seen Johnny Gargano walking in as William Regal found out that Aleister Black was attacked. We've seen Lars Sullivan in the distance wearing a red shirt. We've seen Kona Reeves. We've seen the Undisputed Era listening to their own theme music, just driving away. All four of them in a drop-down top convertible. We've seen Ricochet. We've seen EC3. We've seen, I mentioned Kona Reeves, Cassius Ono, Candice LeRae, Shayna Baszler. You name it. Fabian Eichner. Literally everybody. Everybody was called to the parking lot to be filmed here. And they brilliantly placed everybody here in this scenario while Aleister Black is laid out unconscious with William Regal looking around. What the fuck's going on? Tommaso Ciampa was one of the key guys in this film, in this little video package that WWE brilliantly put together. He's walking by with the NXT Championship, talking to the NXT Championship, looking like a fucking psycho. I am automatically ruling him out. Why? Yes, he could have done it. It could still be revealed as Tommaso Ciampa, but he's too obvious. If I know anything about murder mysteries, WWE isn't going to go the obvious route. NXT is not going to go the obvious route. Johnny Gargano's another obvious one. But again, I gave you the description and my interpretation of everything that happened. Why would Johnny Gargano attack Aleister Black when Johnny Gargano owned up to the mistake that he made? Why would he go and attack Aleister Black? He said, listen, I deserved a black mass. I deserve to get knocked out by Aleister Black because it's my fault, but I'm going to fix it. So why would he go around and go back on what he said and attack Aleister Black for no reason? That would make him a hypocrite. And Johnny Gargano's a babyface. He can't portray him in that way. So out of the two people that are in the main event of Brooklyn, I am not leaning towards Gargano or Ciampa. The other person that people are thinking is obvious but could be a culprit in this is Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan certainly does have a reason to attack Aleister Black, but the fact that he was shown in the back of this entire scene by himself, walking around, makes it a little bit too obvious. And Lars Sullivan, yes, he does have a reason to attack Aleister Black because according to the storyline that we've seen in Chicago with the Black Mass and the ending of that title match between he and Black, Alistair Black broke Lars Sullivan's jaw. So he certainly does have a reason to attack Aleister Black, but he really hasn't been seen on television and doesn't really play into the fact of, okay, we got Gargano, Ciampa, and Aleister Black. Here's Lars Sullivan. Do what you want with it. It doesn't really make sense. And I think having it be Lars Sullivan, it would really take a lot of steam out of this overall angle. So I'm not going with Lars Sullivan because A, it doesn't make sense, and B, it's a little bit too obvious. It's just as obvious as it being Gargano or Ciampa. It's a possibility, but I'm not going with Lars Sullivan. The one guy that I'm going with, if I was to make a list of 3 people who I think this could be, I am not going with Lars, I'm not going with Ciampa, I'm not going with Gargano. My number 1 would be Cassius Ono. I'm going with Cassius Ono. If you watch this video that WWE put exclusively on their YouTube page, Cassius Ono was asked what happened. Cassius Ono was asked what happened, and the reaction that he gave was a very delayed reaction. A very delayed reaction. And he said, nah, I don't know what's going on. As if he's just brushing it off, not giving a shit about what happened to Aleister Black. Cassius Ono's demeanor and attitude in the matches that we've seen in NXT so far have been very pissed, very direct, and even Mauro Ranallo stated on commentary that Cassius Ono's attitude as of late is an attitude of wanting to get back into the championship picture. And this is a man that would do anything to get back to where he thinks he belongs. What has Cassius Ono done in NXT since he's come back? Nothing. He's been nothing more than a glorified enhancement talent. He's done nothing. He's one of the best wrestlers that they have down there. He's 38 years old. Time is ticking. He wants to be where he thinks he belongs. He's been in NXT. He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to make this second go-around different than the first. He hasn't been given an opportunity. So how do you go about making it different than the first time? You take the opportunity and you make it happen for yourself if it has not happened already. That's why Cassius Ono, based on everything we've seen from him in the ring as of late, the narrative portrayed by Mauro Ranallo, and the delayed reaction that he gave the interviewer when asked what happened, Cassius Ono really didn't give a shit. I'm going with Cassius Ono as my number 1. Number 2 could be somebody not on the roster. People are talking about it being Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's going to get a fucking resounding ovation in Brooklyn. People know who Matt Riddle is. People are anticipating Matt Riddle. There's no bigger way to make a splash in NXT than to attack Aleister Black and put yourself in the middle of this Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa storyline. But I don't want Matt Riddle coming in as a heel. I want him to be a babyface. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think that makes much sense. But if you're looking at it as far as a wrestling standpoint, I think maybe Matt Riddle making a big splash like that is certainly what's needed for a debut in NXT. But I think he's going to get a great debut regardless. I think he's going to get a great reaction regardless. He doesn't need to be put in the middle of something that he doesn't really, need necessarily, and doesn't make much sense as far as storyline goes. And what does Matt Riddle have to do with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano anyway? Nothing. It has nothing to do with these guys. So that's why I'm going with Ono. Not only based on what I already told you, but Ono was there when Johnny was put through the table off the stage by Ciampa. Ono was there with Candice as Gargano was being carted off in an ambulance. While Gargano was being carted off in an ambulance, Ciampa was waving goodbye from the top of a production truck. Cassius Ono even challenged Tommaso Ciampa in Johnny Gargano's honor. Cassius Ono went one-on-one with Johnny Gargano. Cassius Ono knows both from their days in the Indies. Cassius Ono makes too much sense. And everything that I told you already, based on that even, Cassius Ono seems like a clear-cut choice here as to who attacked Aleister Black. My third choice could be Johnny's wife. It could be Candice LeRae. You know? But then again, you look at Candice LeRae, what the fuck did she do to knock out Aleister Black? Maybe she's so frustrated with everything that she wants Johnny to just win the title, so he puts everything behind him. And knowing that Aleister Black is in this mix, now a triple threat match, it gives Johnny, instead of a 50% chance of beating Gargano, a 33% chance, a Ciampa rather. It gives, he's already at a 33% chance of beating Ciampa. Does Gargano. And if she took out Aleister Black, it would be a 50% chance of beating Ciampa. Maybe it was Candice LeRae. I don't know. Those are my top three. Ono, Riddle, and Candice LeRae. It doesn't make sense for anybody else at all. But WWE turning this into a resounding positive and one of mystery and one of intrigue. Certainly to me, even with SummerSlam on Sunday, I don't give a shit what's happening with Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. I don't care. I don't care what's happening with Daniel Bryan's contract. Is he staying? Is he going? None of it even comes close to what I think WWE is presenting here with this mystery storyline. Who attacked Aleister Black? This, to me, is the most intriguing thing of the entire weekend. And we're getting another Ciampa Gargano match out of it. Last man standing. I mean, who the fuck's going to complain about that? This is a main event that I'm sure is going to be another 5-star classic. We're going to be on the edge of our seat, with this mystery assailant probably revealing themselves on Sunday night. I don't see why they wouldn't. There's got to be some fuck finish. The reason why I was so afraid about this match happening again is because I thought they were going to end it. I thought they were going to end this storyline. I would not end this now. It would be very anticlimactic to have Gargano win the championship now. He needs to go through more struggle. That's why he plays his role so great as a babyface. He needs to have another obstacle in front of him. And with Aleister Black being hurt, I don't think anybody is better for the situation than a Cassius Ono, really. And then when Aleister Black comes back, we can have a mix of the four. Cassius Ono and Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano. We could see Aleister Black versus Ciampa again. We could see Gargano versus Ono. Black versus Ono. We could see Ciampa versus Ono. Since Ono wants the championship, it could be something that could be a blessing in disguise. Not only for everybody involved, but for Cassius Ono too, who hasn't really had anything of great importance to do in NXT. All I know is going into Brooklyn, Tommaso Ciampa cannot lose the NXT Championship. I don't want him to have the title of Transitional Champion. The guy has done magnificent work, and I don't throw that word around a lot. He's done magnificent, brilliant, villain-like work. And the fact that he's NXT Champion right now and doing the best he's ever done in his entire career, the best work of his entire career, and the thunder is raging behind me. It's fucking pouring outside. Tommaso Ciampa is doing too good right now. You don't take the title off the best that you have right now, and nobody is even close to Tommaso Ciampa right now. Tommaso Ciampa is going to walk out your NXT champion in Brooklyn on Saturday night. How it's going to end, I don't even know. I don't even know how it's going to end. When Ciampa and Black went one-on-one, I was giving you guys pretty much what I would do as far as booking it. You take from the 1997 SummerSlam. We're going into SummerSlam weekend, and they did just that and kind of restructured it a little bit to make it a little bit different. Johnny Gargano playing the role of HBK. Aleister Black playing the role of The Undertaker. Tommaso Ciampa playing the role of Bret the Hitman Hart. And he ends up winning the championship. That's exactly what they did. They spun it in their own little way. They spun it in their own little narrative. And here we are. And I can't wait to see what they do in Brooklyn because it's unpredictable, and I'm here for the ride. They have my money. They have my attention. Give me something that we are going to talk about for the next few weeks going into the next TakeOver Survivor Series weekend. Tommaso Ciampa is going to win this, and he's going to walk out still your NXT Heavyweight Champion. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. is another match I'm looking forward to, not because of what these women did in the Mae Young Classic last year in the finals. This is indeed a rematch from the Mae Young Classic finals last year. We are seeing two different women in Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Much better than what we seen then. And I think Shayna Baszler is at a point right now where she's doing the best work of her career. She's playing the role of a bully. She's playing the role of a heel. And again, the better the heel, the better the superhero. I think Shayna Baszler and the way she's been with Kairi Sane is going to bring out the best in Kairi Sane. But this is going to go back to what I said about Tommaso Ciampa. Shayna Baszler is the absolute best that they have on that women's roster right now. Do you take that title off of Shayna Baszler right now? I don't think so. I don't think Shayna Baszler is ready to lose that championship. Shayna Baszler could go onto the main roster right now and she could dominate Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live and be the very best on either of those women's rosters. That's how good of a body work she's done in NXT. She's still kind of green in the ring, but it's the character that she's played that's made everything else second and made us kind of, live with the fact that she's not really where she should be as far as an in-ring perspective goes. Kairi Sane, on the other hand, I've been very disappointed in Kairi Sane. I've been very disappointed with her coming out of the Mae Young Classic. I think WWE could have pulled the trigger on her a lot sooner. But with Kairi Sane now showing us the intensity that we expected, with Kairi Sane showing us the type of fire that we should have seen coming out of the Mae Young Classic, instead of this cosplay, pirate-esque bullshit that we're seeing, happy-go-lucky, this weirdly, infectious attitude that she has, this lovable attitude that she has. I want to see Kairi Sane kick some fucking ass. I understand the gimmick. I like the gimmick. I have no problems with it. But I want to see Kairi Sane kick some fucking ass for the first time in her WWE run. I don't want her to fall to the wayside. I don't want her to be this character that is cast off as nothing important. Kairi Sane is too good for that. I want to see her beat Shayna Baszler's ass, and I want to see Shayna Baszler give it right back to Kairi Sane. I don't think Shayna Baszler is going to lose this match. I think Kairi Sane, unfortunately, right now, I'm not saying that she's going to be in this role for the foreseeable future, or forever, for that matter. I don't think it's the right time for Kairi Sane. I think Kairi Sane is suffering from what a lot of people suffer in NXT. Wrong place at the wrong time syndrome. I don't think Shayna Baszler walks out without this championship. I think Shayna Baszler needs to go on to be the defending champion against the likes of a Candice LeRae. I think more people are going to invest in a Candice LeRae right now than a Kairi Sane. Really. With what we've seen with Candice LeRae and how WWE's been pushing Candice LeRae, I think the money match is in Candice LeRae and Shayna Baszler instead of a Kairi Sane. And then you go from there. Listen, Shayna Baszler's 38 years old. She don't look it, but the time is ticking on getting her called up to the main roster. Same thing they did with Finn Balor. Finn Balor could not spend all this time in NXT. They brought him to the main roster, and they ultimately ruined him because they cut his balls off, and he's not been the same since. But with guys and women that age, you got to bring them up to the main roster. You don't want to waste too much time with them in NXT. Candice LeRae would be a perfect babyface to take that title off of Shayna Baszler. And then Candice LeRae can go on to defend the title against a Bianca Belair. That's where the money is. That's where the money is. And I feel with Kairi Sane, she's going to have to wait a little bit longer to get the championship in NXT. I think it goes from Shayna to Candice, Candice to Bianca, and then Kairi Sane could take it off Bianca. That's what I think is going to happen. That's the chronological order in which I would do things for the women's division. And then you got other women coming up. You got Lacey Evans, you got Dakota Kai, you got everybody else coming in from the Mae Young Classic that's going to probably steal the show, like a Toni Storm, hopefully a Piper Niven. WWE has resources. But right now, with what they got on the main roster, or NXT's roster rather, you got to, and this rain is really fucking coming down. Holy shit. It's really throwing me off. With what they got in NXT right now, you got to carefully plan on where everyone needs to be. I think the way I laid it out for you guys, I think it's the way it's got to be. Shayna Baszler's too good right now. You can't take the title off her. I'm going with Shayna Baszler to beat Kairi Sane. She retains the NXT Women's Championship in Brooklyn. Same thing goes with Adam Cole and Ricochet for the North American Championship. Adam Cole really hasn't had a string of defenses on NXT television or TakeOver that you could really say, wow, he's a great champion. He says he's defended it at live events. That may very well be the case, but we don't see the live events. The live events, holy shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on over here, man. I don't know if you guys can hear that. We don't see the live events. It's great for those there in attendance, but what we see is what we see on television and at these TakeOver shows. Ricochet came in like a house on fire. Ricochet is one of the more popular guys in NXT since debuting in NXT just a couple of months ago. Ricochet, I am hearing, is one of the sole reasons why NXT's ticket sales for these live events are really, really doing well. But is it well enough to give him a major championship already in NXT? He really hasn't worked for it. He really hasn't beaten anybody of notable name outside the Velveteen Dream. What has he done? You know, there really isn't much right now with Ricochet that you could say, yeah, he deserves the NXT Championship, North American Championship. I think it's honestly too soon to give him any type of championship gold. Adam Cole has not done enough. The caliber of wrestler Adam Cole is, he's not done enough with the North American Championship. And I think giving it to Ricochet on Saturday night is going to be a mistake. You got to have Ricochet work for it. And I think working for it means going into War Games. I think assembling a team that takes down the Undisputed Era. I think assembling a team that takes down the British Strong Style guys in Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne. I think you assemble a team and you go in there and you stake claim to War Games. You win. You conquer War Games. Then you give Ricochet the North American Championship. That's what I think you do. I think going into this, they're going to have a match that's probably going to steal the entire weekend, just based on both of these guys and what they've done in the ring already. Adam Cole wins this match and retains the North American Championship. I think Ricochet goes into War Games, assembling a team of himself, the War Raiders, against the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong against Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. Ricochet and the War Raiders win. Not only does that give Ricochet a shot at the North American Championship once again because he proved that he could beat Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era inside that environment, but also the War Raiders, they'll get the Tag Team Championship opportunity that they want against Undisputed Era because they conquered War Games as well with Ricochet and the Undisputed Era. That's where I'm going with that. But I think this match is going to be fantastic on Saturday night. I can't wait for it. But that's what I would do. It's too soon for Ricochet and the North American Championship. Adam Cole has not had enough time with that North American Championship. It may seem like it, but he really hasn't defended it against anybody of notoriety. You know? So I think he needs to almost defeat Ricochet as a statement. This is my championship. I'm the North American Championship. A loss to Ricochet is not going to do anything to him. He's still going to be as hot as ever. But if he goes into War Games and proves that he could beat Undisputed Era in that environment, that would certainly warrant another shot at the North American Championship, if you ask me. That's the way I'm booking it. I'm going with Adam Cole. Adam Cole is going to win this match and retain the North American Championship. Undisputed Era, and I want to apologize if it sounds like I'm kind of getting thrown off. This rain is fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know what's going on this summer. The last couple of weeks of the summer here in New York City have been nothing but clouds, no sun, and all rain. It's absolutely disgusting. Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong defending their championships, the NXT Tag Team Championship against Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven in a rematch. They're invoking their rematch clause from just a couple of weeks ago when Tyler Bate threw in the towel and forfeited their championships because he said, and I'm glad that they made some mention of it. I still don't agree with it. Still some logic gaps in there, even though they are a babyface team. Threw in the towel and said that the well-being of Trent Seven is more important to him than any tag team championship. That's the thing a babyface would say. That's a good babyface explanation. Undisputed Era, you know, they wanted to take the titles off the Undisputed Era in the United Kingdom during the UK tournament as a way to say, wow, look at this. We have a shock victory here. You know, the UK guys going into their home turf, win the championship. It was more of a Undisputed Era visiting a ballpark that wasn't their own. They were the visitors. They were in the visitor ballpark, and they lost because of the crowd, the momentum, the atmosphere, the city. It was just, any type of sports series that you see, whether it's MLB, NBA, NHL, the home team that you want has home field advantage. Home field advantage obviously went to Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. And Undisputed Era went into a visitor's ballpark and lost for obvious reasons. That's why they did it. And I didn't mind it. Undisputed Era wins it on their home turf. Again, they go back into Full Sail and they win it. And they just dominated Mustache Mountain. I think this is going to be a great match. I think this is going to be a match that's going to be the best out of everything because it's going to be Brooklyn, it's going to be TakeOver. Why the fuck not? We've seen one in the UK. We've seen one in Full Sail. And now we're going to get one in Brooklyn at TakeOver in front of 15, 16, 17,000 people. It's going to be great. I think these guys are pretty much going to give us the best match of the bunch so far. Undisputed Era is going to win here because the money match is Undisputed Era and War Raiders. That's where the money tag team title match is. Mustache Mountain, I feel like they're going to be a very integral part of the UK tag team division. They'll probably lose this, go over there, win their tag team championships, probably have a nice little feud with the Coffee Brothers. That's what I envision happening over there. That's the money feud I want to see. The Coffee Brothers versus Mustache Mountain, take my money, man. Take my money. But Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong going to walk out here, still tag team champions. I don't think any of these championships change hands. I don't think anything on TakeOver is going to change hands whatsoever. Shayna Baszler, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, Undisputed Era. I would go into Brooklyn not changing anything about these particular set of champions at all. And we'll see what happens, man. I think it's going to be a hot crowd. Undisputed Era is going to win. Finally, Velveteen Dream versus EC3. This is the one undercard match that doesn't have a title on the line. EC3, to me, has been underwhelming. And I don't think it's majority his fault. I just think that, again, he's suffering from the wrong place, wrong time syndrome in NXT. He came in to an NXT that has Ricochet, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream was on the up and up, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. It's going to be very difficult to compete and find a spot, a main event spot, with guys like that competing at the level that they're competing in. I'm sorry. It's not EC3's fault. It's just he walked in with NXT's best roster to date. And EC3 may be good, he may be valuable, he may be a stud. But I don't think EC3 is on the level of everybody that I mentioned. Not even close. EC3 and Velveteen Dream, the way that this storyline materialized is easy. Velveteen Dream and EC3 went against Aleister Black and Ricochet at the UK show, at the UK tournament on night 2. EC3 was left alone. Velveteen Dream walked out. Apparently, Velveteen Dream was going for a purple Rainmaker, and EC3 accidentally bumped the ropes, knocked him off, and Velveteen Dream said, fuck this shit. I have a partner in EC3 that's not doing what I expect him to do. He's going to cost us this match. I better just walk out of this match and save myself the frustration and just leave him there by himself. Dream doesn't need him. Dream doesn't recall that. So he walked out, left EC3 alone in the United Kingdom, and here we are. EC3 found this to be a slap in the face. He found it to be disrespectful, and this match has been made. Who wins this match? I'm going with Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is one of those guys that's suffering from the Tyler Bate scenario. Tyler Breeze scenario. Tyler Breeze was so great at everything he did. He had a great character, and he lost every big match that he was in. He was there to put over guys. I don't want Velveteen Dream to be that type of character. I don't want Velveteen Dream to be the Tyler Breeze of 2018 in NXT. He's too good. To me, Velveteen Dream has North American Champion written all over him. Why not have Velveteen Dream win this match, get some momentum underneath him? He lost to Ricochet at the last TakeOver show. EC3 right now is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Velveteen Dream needs this win more than anything. You cannot have him continuing to lose week in, week out, TakeOver after TakeOver, and not feel some sort of a, I guess, shift in momentum. You can't do it. You have to have him win. You have to have Velveteen Dream win here and get some momentum underneath him. EC3, shit out of luck. It's all about timing. Right now, it's not his time. When Velveteen Dream and everybody else is moving on up, that's when EC3 will move up. Because right now, there's no way EC3, no matter how good you think he is, he can't compete with what's going on in NXT right now. And he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm going with Velveteen Dream. I'm going with the Purple Rainmaker. I'm going with Velveteen Dream walking out of TakeOver Brooklyn with a victory over EC3. That is your NXT TakeOver preview and predictions. Let me know what you guys think. I apologize in advance with the rain. I did not expect it to rain. Believe me, it was fucking sun and humidity about 45 minutes ago when I started to record this thing. And then all of a sudden, the fucking clouds opened up and rain everywhere. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you guys so very much for everything. If you missed anything on the channel right now, I'm going to leave you guys links where you can find everything that's on the channel. SmackDown Live, Monday Night Raw, even WWE 2K19, Daniel Bryan 2K Showcase Mode revealed. My thoughts on that, my opinion on that. Blunt, direct, to the point, man. Not sugarcoating anything with this year's game. So if you guys missed any of that stuff, the link will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. If you guys want to get these bad boys, man, Summer Scam. Remember, Summer Scam is on Sunday, August 19th. Summer Slam is NXT TakeOver Brooklyn #4. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Get your Summer Scam t-shirts today. Thank you guys so very much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, and I'll see you guys for this weekend's Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.